Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse came out December 1st, 2018, impressing fans of Spider-Man that a comic book could really be brought to the big screen with its impressive visuals within its animation. We all know about Miles have different frame rates, and when he puts the suit on, it goes more frames, blah blah blah, whatever. With a budget of $90 million, it grossed $384 million, so quite obviously a sequel was going to be made. On November 1st, 2019, a sequel movie was announced to be in the works, with a release date planned to be April 8th, 2022. Nothing major occurred related to announcements until April 19th, 2021, a year before the movie was meant to release, and all that was said was just, yo, production designers and directors will be coming back for this one. Then December 2021, 4 months before the movie was meant to come out, the first teaser for the film came out, a small clip from the film, with the title Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. They also pushed the date to October 7th, 2022. Then April 2022, another push back to June, with a title change, dropping the Part 1 and announcing the next film will be called Beyond the Spider-Verse, with the release date of March 2024. Are you following? Because I'm confused as well, don't worry. December 2022, we get a first real trailer for the movie, of course, people can't wait for this shit, and another few teaser trailers drop until we finally get the film, releasing on June 2nd, 2023. 5 years after the first, and just 1 year after the original planned release. The movie exceeds the first with a budget of $150 million, it grossed $690 million, with the movie ending on a massive cliffhanger, which we'll get back to. So after the movie ended on a cliffhanger, fans couldn't wait the 9 months for the next film's release. But 9 months was less than Infinity War and Endgame's 12-month gap, so they've played these games before. Then the writer's strikes happened from July to November of 2023, and apparently the movie underwent significant changes to the script and animation before the strike even happened. Due to this, the movie was pushed back to release in March 2025. If you don't own a clock, we've passed that date in real time, and only recently was it revealed that it's actually going to come out June 25th, 2027, with these images being the only visuals released for the movie. So now there's a 4-year gap between Across and Beyond, which is less than the first two, but this is so much worse than the first two's time gap. But why? I know you're wondering, why is this one worse? Well, the obvious answer is that this one ended on a much bigger cliffhanger. The first had an ending that could actually lead nowhere from there. If we never saw these characters again, you'd feel satisfied with the conclusion of the movie, whereas Across did a terrible job at ending its movie. First of all, if you take into consideration all of the outsides from the actual movie, the audience was promised that we'll see these characters again in just a few months' time. So mentally, when that is taken away from you just a few weeks after seeing where you're leaving these characters, it feels so much more of a delay, even though it's a whole year less than the first two. And then we get to the point we are at now. We are currently 2 years after Across and 2 years before Beyond. How the hell did they think they were going to finish the movie in 9 months? But now we're going to talk about just the movie side of things, taking away anything in real life with delays and anything like that. The movie ends on such an unsatisfying ending. Even if this movie was still a part 1 and part 2 like originally planned, title-wise, it is still a movie that should stand on its own to be watched. Instead, you get 2 hours of setup. Now, I like this movie and I really love the animation, but looking at this movie as an actual movie is very underwhelming in what you get. The movie starts like a normal, fine movie. We catch up with the 2 main characters. We meet the villain. He's played off as a joke and then becomes a greater threat because the good guys underestimate him. We then head over to the Spider Society of cameos. We then spend 10 minutes expo dumping a bunch of shit lore onto him. Miles wants to fight against his destiny and choose who he wants to be. Currently, all this shit is not bad. I like this movie. This is good stuff so far. Even though there's a lot of cameos that pauses the movies to show them off. For example, why the hell did Penny Parker, Peter B. Parker, and Gwen all try and reason with Miles to stop him from, going against his destiny? And then Spectacular Spider-Man also has something to say. I love Spectacular Spider-Man as a TV show, but he's the only person who doesn't know Miles personally that butts in to try and give Miles advice. That shit's a bit cringe. Anyways, chase sequence is good. I like it. I like it a lot when Peter B. Parker gets some alone time with Miles. And the I'm gonna do my own thing. Mwah, chef's kiss. Him using the dimension thing, I like. The twist of him in the wrong universe is also good shit, but then this is where the movie loses positive points for me. There's another 20 minutes to this movie, and these consist of just cliffhangers where you see the Spot about to cause some chaos, we see Gwen dap up her dad and get a group of teammates together to help Miles. This team consists of Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Ham, which we haven't seen at all in this film, the Indian Spider-Man guy, which I can see joining the group, as well as Spider-Punk. We also got Peter B. Parker and Penny, who were just trying to convince Miles not to do all this, but I suppose they know him personally Disney, and they'll probably change their minds after a fucking minute, I guess. But what about VR Lady? She had one conversation with the guy, and that made her change her mind on the entire Spider Society? Whatever, ignore that, because my biggest issue is Miles. He's in the wrong universe. Meets his other universe self, who is the Prowler in this universe. Okay, this is interesting. I like this a lot. A world where he didn't become Spider-Man and went into a life of crime instead. But is it a 4 years interesting of a cliffhanger? Now that I've refreshed your memory on the ending of the movie, can you honestly say that this movie stands up on its own as a movie? Not a single plot thread is wrapped up, making you feel more unsatisfied than excited. And now they throw in an evil Miles right at the end just for one more little plot thread to deal with in 4 years. A movie that this is always compared to is Infinity War, with that obviously leading into Endgame. But where this differs is Infinity War is almost goddamn perfect in its ending. Before I get into this big yap, I'm obviously obligated to tell you to subscribe if you're enjoying blah 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 YouTube stuff. Anyways, the movie starts with Thanos, showing he is the evil main character of this story. We get his intentions of wiping out half the universe and see him take out the 2 strongest Avengers in the first scene, and killing the main villain from the first Avengers movie, setting the tone for the film off the bat. Throughout the movie, he goes place to place visiting all the characters we know and love, and overcoming them to finish his greater goal, with eventually him coming face to face with Thor, the first person we saw him defeat, coming full circle in this story. And still, Thor doesn't beat him. Thanos wins and finishes his objective. We then see how Thanos truly meant everything he said throughout the movie, how he believes he's doing a good thing and he will do anything to do that, even though Thor tried to kill him and almost died because of it. Even though the rest of the Avengers tried stopping him, he doesn't get revenge on them. He has the Infinity Stones. He could easily just kill every single one of them in an instant. But no, instead he goes back to his farm and chills. And that's how the movie ends, with the heroes realizing they've lost for the first time, seeing their best friends just disappear in front of their eyes, and Captain America, a person who's always found the good in any evil, stating, "Oh God." We sit in the silence with our heroes, mourning the losses of our favorite heroes before the score comes back in with a slow, menacing, but yet calm tune as we see Thanos sitting and
I finally rest and watch the sunrise on a grateful universe.
Now, I could do a whole video essay on this Infinity War because that shit is peak. But comparing what I've just described to Across the Spider-Verse, yeah, in case you forgot, this is an Into Spider-Verse video. The main villain of the Spot isn't seen for the last hour of the movie. The Spider Society is shown to not really want to kill Miles, more just stop him and kind of an inconvenience more than anything. And we've seen Miles in their own turf outsmart every single one of them and escape, when he was only there for 10 minutes to learn about them. So are they really a threat? And Prowler Miles, that bit just came out of nowhere in the last 10 minutes. And they got so much shit they need to deal with in the next movie. Are they really going to use up precious screen time with him? That's the difference between these two movies. Technically, both Infinity War and Across the Spider-Verse are both part 1s and 2s. But Infinity War told a story that, yes, ended on a cliffhanger, but also finished the story the movie was trying to tell. Thanos wanted to do a thing. He did the thing. Movie ends. Where Spider-Verse just kind of ends because the movie's ending now. And that's my issue with Beyond. I don't feel excited to see that movie. I feel disappointed and underwhelmed from everything that's come from it. I saw half a story in Across the Spider-Verse and have to be blueballed twice on the release date to when I'm gonna see the other. And as I stated earlier, it went from 9 months to 4 fucking years. The movie was never gonna be finished in 9 months. They just fucking lied to everyone. I left the cinema opening day on Across the Spider-Verse excited to see the next movie. Even back then, I was disappointed in the ending. You know, it just felt really underwhelming on how they ended it. But I thought, hey, it's just a year time. I can't wait to see the outcome of this. I was 13 when Into the Spider-Verse came out, 18 when I saw Across the Spider-Verse. I'm gonna be fucking 47 when I eventually see Beyond the Spider-Verse. I really hope the next movie's great, and I'm going to see it opening night, for sure. But everything that has led up to this movie has not given me hope. Like I mentioned earlier, they wanted to change the script and animation before the writer's strike even happened, so they just restarted, apparently, from the sounds of it. And changing the script as well from a part 1 and a part 2, what do you mean you didn't have it set in stone what the idea was? These things are the things that make me worry about the next movie, you know? Hey, I'm not losing sleep over it, but I want this to be peak. This trilogy, I want it to be peak. But this middle movie, it's not a middle movie. It's a part 1 and a part 2. And I don't think movies are meant to be like that. They shouldn't be like that. Now to end this video with a 30-minute tease of what's going to come in 20 years time on my channel, I'm going to chuck in a little evil clone right at the end of this fucking video. Just why not? Why not chuck it in there? Fucking get one in there. And I didn't even bring up how Shameik Moore is allegedly a bit of a fucking weirdo.